welcome to another episode of a 90 Minutes Podcast. I am your host, David, and tonight, John and Jonathan are with me. I would like to say our friend Brian was out of the country, some death in the family that happened. He'll be gone for a little bit, but he'll soon be with us. So it's important to mention that there's a fourth member of the team, and I like to mention him because he's part of the show. And without any further ado, let me go ahead and introduce the two gentlemen that join me tonight. John, how you doing?
Good. How are you, David? Very good.
Pretty good. Hopefully you had a great week, aside from the results, obviously. And Jonathan, how you doing?
Doing excellent. Thank you for having me again.
Appreciate it. Fantastic. Awesome. I would like to remind everybody that we are live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. We can be found on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram as at in 90 minutes _ pod, and also in Facebook as in 90 minutes podcast. The audio version of this podcast can be found in all the major applications where you could usually consume your podcast. So thank you very much to the 7 people that are watching us live. Guys, eventful week. Before we start, I would like to have a disclaimer. The members of this panel are supporter group members. Any of the opinions that we're going to say today are our personal opinions, how we see the situation with the club, how we see the games. We are not representing none of the supporter groups. We're not speaking for any supporter group. The conversation today is going to be one in which we're going to discuss the topics in a respectful manner, in a logical manner. We're not here to attack anybody, discredit anybody, mud anybody's reputation. And it's crystal clear that we say that because the purpose of this podcast is to be a platform for the fans to discuss topics that we feel are important when it comes to the club that we love. So with that said, John, we're going to start with you. Impressions of the game against Tigres.
Tigres, I thought we looked very good. There was much improvement, I thought, especially on the attacking side. We definitely had our opportunities, both halves, but we were really pushing forward in the second half. But the first half, I thought we had some very good opportunities to attack. Looked very cohesive at times, better than we've looked the entire year. We were just unlucky, got CONCACAF'd a little bit there at the end with the time wasting and some other shenanigans going on. Put one in, unfortunately, CONCACAF stuck in the 90s and still uses the away goal tiebreaker to put a team through. And unfortunately, we didn't get a goal at Tigres, so we were out at the short end of the stick.
Jonathan.
So, I think we touched on it last week. All of us said that this team needed to score more than one goal. That was clear and obvious. I mean, Tigres was definitely going to come out and try and get the one goal, which turns into 2 for them because it's the aggregate. Aggregate was something that they used in Europe. They don't use it anymore. I know we're behind times, but it is what it is. But nonetheless, we had an objective, which is that we needed to win the game. We didn't win. We tied. On paper, that looks excellent. I mean, you're talking about one of the best teams out of Mexico right now. They're, whether they're completely in form or not, that's not up for us to say. They are miles ahead, better than this team and many other MLS teams. They have a budget that's way bigger. There is no cap. And I think Orlando City showed, at least the players showed, that they have the heart to drive through and try their very best to try and grind out a win. Obviously, again, we did not have that happen, but I would like to say that we kept up with them. On paper, we kept up with them. We didn't look like we were absolutely completely on the back heel. We had some attacking moments that were really good. If we were a little bit more clinical, especially the last shot at the end, if that would have went in, that's just that's Benji basically against Columbus when that happened. So the whole stable went ballistic. All in all, atmosphere was excellent. I mean, Ruckus, ILF showed up. They did the smoke outside the support group. I mean, the fan base was there. I know the Tigres fans were there, obviously, as well. I mean, the stadium has never had that much excitement, I would say, since the Open Cup final. And we played really well. Would have liked to have been better. But, again, no complaints.
No, fantastic. All I'm going to add to that is unfortunate, like the guys have said, the away rule. We are the only confederation in the world that still uses the away goal. The away goal came to be back in the early 20th century when travel was very difficult. It was sort of a way to balance the fact that the away team had to go through boats, trains, mule carts, whatever, to get to the location, and it was a way to reward them for the effort of getting to the visit to the home team. Today, that doesn't exist, and that's the reason why other confederations have gotten rid of it. You just jump in an airplane and you go. To me, we left undefeated. We left with our head held high. Pachuca, which was the second favorite team in this tournament, unfortunately suffered the same fate as us, with Motagua from Honduras eliminating them. So you can see that, the Pachuca fans were very disappointed at the result, and so did we. So I think it's time for that rule to go away, because to me the greatest equalizer is the penalty kicks. That's in all sports. It's the one opportunity that everybody has to resolve, to solidify who moves on, who wins, and it's exciting, and it would have been a show to behold at our stadium, and unfortunately we're cheated because of this archaic rule. Nonetheless, proud that we made it to CCL. We're gonna be back. That still needs to be determined. I would like to talk about an incident that happened in the stadium, and I would like to read the statement that, if I can show you my screen, that the Rockets and the ILF presented to everybody to see, and I will be reading along. And let's see. The screen betrays me. We're live, people. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. Oh, there it is. This for those that are listening, this makes for great podcasts. I just gonna stop and I'm gonna read it. I mean, okay. So, all right. So we're back. So I just gonna read the statement myself, because technology has betrayed us once more, and my phone doesn't want to get a ILF. Now, while I look for this, guys, what were your impressions when the bomb started dropping on the fans?
Oh God. Yeah,
I'll go ahead. I mean, it's part of soccer culture. I mean, it's one thing that I don't want to make it sound like our supporters are better. More, we've been, I'll say, trained not to bring pyro, smoke, whatever you want to call it, to away stadiums, because you'll instantly get a at least year ban from the league for doing it. Mm-hmm. But our fans don't do it. It's in football culture and soccer culture for away fans to make a scene at opposition stadiums, throw pyro on the field, do all that stuff. I know you're going to get to it in a letter, but there were discussions had between, our supporter groups and the club, and seems like they fell on deaf ears for whatever reason. It irritated me. I was ticked off after the game for a multitude of reasons. I mean, the wall, they were letting Tigres fans in and not stopping them. Jonathan, I don't know if you witnessed that. I'm more on the green than you are.
Yeah. Oh no, it was out of control. Yeah.
But I mean, all in all, that's it was as a supporter, as somebody who loves football culture, the supporter culture, the ultras culture of soccer. You know,
Yeah.
I liked it, but as a Orlando City supporter, I hated it. I hated that. I did very much dislike that they were just letting the Tigers fans into the wall. That is one thing that is absolutely not supposed to happen ever.
Mhm.
Luckily, it was on a work night. If there was more time for tailgating, there would have been fights and massive fights. I would have been included. I'll admit there was a Tigers fan in front of us. Told my girlfriend to go do something to herself that
Oh, wow.
I
Oh,
took
wow.
exception to. I know we try to keep it a little family friendly on there. So he didn't use very nice words. Words are exchanged. I kept it, other than throwing words at him, kept it
Mhm.
under control. But somebody doesn't disrespect a friend of mine
No,
other than my
absolutely.
Yeah.
girlfriend, or
Absolutely.
so that's
Jonathan.
why they're not allowed in there. I'll let you go ahead, Jonathan. I could go on forever
Yeah,
about
no.
it.
Listen, I can tell you this is my family are giant Roma fans. They're my father, my grandfather, Lazio Roma ultras, and I've gone to the Stadio Olimpico in down there in Rome, and I've gone to the Lazio versus Rome, the Rome derby, and I can tell you this is that I told my wife was thinking about coming. And I said to her, I said, if you want to come, you can. But I said, I don't really know if that's probably, the best idea, at least at the moment, because there's a lot of Tigres fans. And, not that I think something would happen, but just on the off chance. And I'm not saying that Tigres fans are bad, but I know the culture. And, we're very blessed to have here in the U.S. where a family can go to a soccer game. Women and
Mhm.
children can go. Because I can tell you, I've gone to those games. I've been to those derbies, and you can't bring women. Don't come just for
Yeah, yeah.
safety.
Single women, kids. Yeah, I know.
No, yeah, and it's just because of safety, because it gets out of hand, and people don't realize that soccer, the culture of soccer, is so much. It goes way deeper than just 11 guys on your team kicking the ball. It comes down to religion. It comes down to politics. It's your demographic. It's who you are. It's your bloodline, and a lot of people take it extremely seriously. And
Mhm.
they wear their badge on their chest like it's their beating heart. And while that's great and all, but there are people who do take it to the extreme. I'm sorry that happened to you
No,
and to your
absolutely.
girl, but man, I'm not surprised that the smoke got onto the field. I'm not surprised by the Tigres. I can tell you that when I was in the wall, I was standing next to the Ruckus leadership. And again, I'm just speaking my own terms. I'm not going to repeat whatever they said, because that's whatever they say is what they say. But I can tell you that people were absolutely losing their minds that had happened, because at the end of the day, they brought smoke in. Cool, they brought smoke in. That it's not completely harmful, but you
Mhm.
don't know what else they could have brought in.
Yes,
And I can tell you is that at least last I checked, I did not walk through a metal detector in the supporter section.
that is very true.
And you don't, in today's world and what goes on in this country, you
Mhm.
do not know what people are bringing into. And I'm not saying Tigres are going to bring in stuff like that. You could have been an Orlando City supporter. You could have had something serious break out. And I give the security team a D minus. And I just I could go on forever, and I don't want to, but the security needs to be a lot better. And there should have been a line of security in the section of the Tigres, a long yellow line of people watching, because the things are being thrown over. They're going to hit the fans, like the smoke can. I think it happened once or twice, if I'm not mistaken. It was a little
I
hard to
was there,
see.
so I can tell you.
Yeah, it was hard to see on by the wall, but it was disgraceful because you got a family down there, women and children and kids and adult fathers, whatever.
Mhm.
Elder, you get hit in the head with those things, that hurts. And
Yes.
you don't know what could have happened. It could have thrown other things over. And what was it? They threw drinks at Torres, didn't
So
they?
yeah, on the corner kicks that threw garbage. I, I
It's just
was I was sitting right behind the goal on the south side. Two of the cans almost hit the front row.
yeah,
One of the cans almost hit the security guard that went to pushed the cans out of the pitch, almost hit him in the head. Those cans have an internal temperature of 1200 degrees Fahrenheit.
Mhm.
If that were to land in somebody's lap or somebody's
Yeah.
hoodie or inside somebody's shirt, we'll be talking about a different situation.
Yeah.
I want to read this excerpt of the statement. It states the events that took place at home in the CONCACAF Champions League match could have been avoided. The front office leadership showed their inability to keep the supporters, players, and fans safe with their lack of security and understanding of the culture that surrounds the beautiful game. Over this past week, the supporters offer valuable insight and information about the opposition, only to fall on deaf ears. And we were approached by a source that will remain nameless. As you guys know, I don't rat out the people that reach out to us. And if you have been following my personal content and the podcast that I've been part of, you know that my DMs are always open and people are free to discuss things, and I will always keep that them anonymous. I know a lot of people feel that if I don't reveal sources, that is not true, but the fact that Facundo Torres' dad approached me back in November before he was signed, and all of you that showed up to the airport know that the his agent came to me, handed me the phone. His dad was on the phone. Listen, I don't have to lie. I don't have to make up things. Okay, I don't have to make up things, and people talk to us. So this is in reference to our SLO, our supporter liaison officer, a position that we as supporters, and I mean all of us, non-affiliated supporter group people, members, I should say, demanded that we have. Basically, a face, the guy that is going to take all our complaints, the guy that is going to hear from us, because it's not enough. It's not a professional from a football club to say you have problems. Talk to your ticket rep. My ticket rep is a salesperson. I need a customer service individual that understands the culture and understands where I'm coming from. And Casey Mullen is our safety SLO, supporter liaison officer, fellow Navy veteran. And this is what it has to be said about his position, which, by the way, I'm deeply upset at the fact that the position is not what I envisioned it to be to begin with. They just don't equip him properly, and he has to go through three supervisors to get anything to Jared. The security drop off this season has been immense. We effing told them ticketed supporters we're going to bring banners and smoke, and we didn't have dogs ready to sniff it out. It's insane. Continues. I'm not mad at their fans at all. We would have done the same crap if we knew we could get away with it. Mad at our front office for being so dumb to not stamp it out when we told them it was going to happen. And last, David, we gave them photos of supporters to look for, what their activity will be like. You name it. They don't understand. They don't understand soccer is not the NFL. And last statement, an NHL executive running the show. He's too nice. We took a soccer ball during the first game and hit it. They sent 5 security staff to find it out in our section. Our member gave it back to them when they asked him if he had it, and they still gave him a 2-match ban. 5 security over a ball. How many over smoke? And I'm gonna tell you, and with this, I'm gonna give the microphone to John. One of the things that upsets me the most is that the bumps were something like Jonathan and John have mentioned already, that they hit. They could have brought a gun. I'm not accusing anybody, but I'm just saying, if our security is that lax, where there's metal detectors all over the place. I just found out that the wall doesn't go through metal detectors. How did these bombs made it there? Could have been anything. Could have been anything. Also, one of the things that is in the bylaws of our club, in the MLS fan code of conduct, it should be in the small writing on your ticket if you actually read those things. It says that if you throw anything on the pitch and you invade the pitch, you are gone.
Mhm.
They should have evacuated the south side. They did not, for fear of what the Tigre supporters should have done. Perhaps we should have been better prepared. Perhaps we should have had more security. our club is very naive in a lot of things because they don't understand the culture, they don't understand the game, and I get it. And I'm not gonna crap on Jared Dillon for this. He's a fantastic individual, but he's new to soccer, new to football, and and we need to shake our club up and make them understand that the supporter groups, while have a reputation of hard drinkers and rebel rousers and all that, some of the people there have been born in the football culture in other countries, have a lot of experience, and we're there, to provide an information and advice that sometimes the club needs to listen to. So, John, any final thoughts on the situation against Tigres? Obviously, on the football side, we got eliminated. Boo hoo, so sad. On the personal side, to me, I was disappointed at the situation with the Bums. Uh, they celebrated. They got out. They, to me, okay. They move on, great. But at the same time, I felt that they needed to respect our house. And one last thing before John takes over the microphone, that I want to point out. A lot of people were saying, hey, everybody was saying that the fans in Mexico were nice. These guys were not. Well, the difference is the guys in Mexico are Mexicans. These are Mexican Americans.
Mhm.
These are second and third generation people that came from other states that behave like animals. And I'm not afraid to say that. It's not an attack on my Mexican people. I love you as a fellow Hispanic Latino. I have to say that the good with the bad, because in our culture we are bad at sports. We act like, we act sometimes in a way that is discouraging. And there was a lot of Tigres fans around me that did not condone that what happened, and they were embarrassed about it. But at the end of the day, football is football. They won. They celebrated. John.
So yeah, on the field, the goal that Tigres scored was unfortunate. You have a young defender there, probably definitely could have played it better. I'm sure they went over and filmed what he did wrong. I know from just playing high school soccer and a little bit of coaching training that I do have, I saw it immediately when I watched the replay on TV. And the other thing is, with everything that happened, the negatives that happened, it was by far, Jonathan, I know you said you weren't at the U.S. Open Cup.
Yeah.
It was the level of the atmosphere at the game last Wednesday was the best atmosphere I have ever been to, because of the back and forth with the fans, because over our chanting sometimes you could just slightly hear them, and then our chanting would pick up and you couldn't hear them again. And one thing to Fox Sports, they do such a disservice to this game.
Wow.
The way they had
it
it
was awful.
found out,
I
I
heard.
was so mad when I watched the replay. I'm like, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to hear us chanting, hear them chanting, hear it going. No, you could barely hear the wall. You could barely hear sometimes the Tigers supporters. It was an embarrassment on Fox Sports' part, and the fact they interrupted the game in the 79th minute, I think it was, to play World Baseball Classic. I understand it's money, but you still have to understand the essence of the situation.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Jonathan.
you say that, and it just it boils my blood, because you know what? It's just you're watching the game, and then it just immediately abruptly cuts to another sporting event. It's like,
Which they were already showing on FS1.
that's
Right?
what I was gonna say. It was on another one. So why did Fox should have absolutely no right to be broadcasting anything on soccer. I've watched way too much of it, and ESPN too. ESPN is just as bad. They're both awful. They're just, and the pundits are awful. Nothing good. I mean, what was it when we were playing in Tigres? What, we had one commentator the whole time? Come on, you can't give us something, like, really?
Yeah, Bruce Silverstein, former OCB announcer.
He did a good job being by himself.
He did a great job
about that.
He did a great job, but even I get it. It's Orlando City fans. Like, there's not many of us, but do you know how many Tigres fans there's probably in America that are trying to watch the game? And then it's not. It's just But I'll say this is that I love the atmosphere. The atmosphere was great. The game was really fun to watch. I could just tell you though is that and you said it yourself, that they're not the Tigres fans who came. A lot of them were the fans who had caused the issue were most likely American Mexican, and it's true. I mean, you can't buy certain things like the pyrotechnics of that stuff with an out of country license. Like when you go into these
Right.
fireworks shops and whatnot, you actually have to present your ID, and a lot of times they won't allow it. Now, obviously, there's certain places where you can go and get it because money's money, but I can tell you from the Ruckus side, and again, just speaking for myself, nothing to do with the support group, is that it's one thing for us to have to deal with the opposing fans because we are a support group, and we will always counter that, not necessarily in a physical way, but we will always try to counter what they're bringing.
Mm-hmm.
But it felt like for us, we didn't have the support of the front office. And it felt like we were out there in no man's a little bit. And, when the club was addressed and when we were telling them, and not me personally, but all the support groups were saying, hey, you're going to have different things happening. These people you got to watch out for. They're going to be trying to bring in this. They're going to be trying to bring in that. That should have been addressed. I can tell you is that they usually have a metal detector for the supporter group side, but I don't remember it being there during that game. John, did you go through one?
Okay.
I don't recall there being.
I don't remember. Right. I just remember getting a pat down.
And honestly, it's so much habit anymore. Yeah. Get there, this. Get
so there's so many little things that need to be addressed. And I like our ownership. I love the Wilfs. I love what they've done. I like Jared. Jared's been really nice. I met with him at a season ticket member banquet that they had.
Same here.
Nice guy, really nice. We got to get out of the idea that soccer in the U.S. is a different kind of culture than what's happening around the world, because it's not the NFL, it's not NHL, it's not baseball. There are fans who will personally try to attack other fans. And I know that sometimes happens in the NFL where even you will fight your own fellow fan, but not on the scale of soccer and football, the football, rather. This is a very, very serious thing. We have to address it going forward when we do other events, like especially for the Leagues Cup or anything in particular. This goes for all MLS teams. This should be a wake-up call that we need to treat this sport like it is.
No, absolutely.
That's all. If I could just add one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead, John.
Because I'm not a member of a supporter group.
But an official one. An official. Let's clarify
that. This goes to strictly to the front office. The supporters are not a marketing tool, period. I'm sick and tired of the supporters being treated like a marketing tool. We are there to support the boys, the coach, not you guys. We're not there to fill your pockets with money because it looks cool on TV. We're there to support our guys.
Yeah, that goes for anyone on the internet. I know it was posted on Reddit, and I'm going to step out of my moderator bubble here. I'm going to speak fully. The Tifus, all that stuff, everybody wants to take pictures of, and everybody wants to go, oh my God, this is amazing. The atmosphere is amazing. And then you shit on the supporters a little bit. Excuse my French. But it's not for you guys. It's not for us. It's for these guys. It's for the 11 guys who are on the field who are going to give it their all and battle it through blood, sweat, and tears, and we're here to support them. No one else.
We'll still be here when the Wilfs and Jared Dillon and Poppy and all those guys are still gone.
We'll be here.
We'll still be here supporting
players, managers come and go. The supporter remains. That's always the rule. Jim D, I don't think so. I just got the pat down at the supporters entrance, and his first comment, which I was waiting to address because we're gonna go into that. Mm-hmm. I was wondering if our team could attack and also defend. A small sample size, but I think it's one or the other. And we're gonna go to the moment of the game for Tigres, which, in my opinion, is incredible because it was a golazo. Period. One of the most incredible goals that I've seen live in my life. My English team, Stevenage, won a game just like this. But obviously, I'm watching it on TV or on my device, I should say. This was right in front of me. It was an incredible goal. And let's see here. Hopefully, I picked the right video. I think this is the one. So let's go see that. Fingers crossed.
And the drink's being spilled over.
What can I say about it? I was very happy for him. He has been under a lot of scrutiny from the fans, a lot of questioning, including myself. I have to say, we have said that in the podcast. We have to be honest. But it took a lot of skill. I have to say that, in my opinion, you can see the stamina of our players, the never say die attitude. I was told that because of the bicycle kick, he overextended his leg and got hurt in the process. Reason why he wasn't playing Saturday. But nonetheless, a great goal. I felt at the time, oh, this is his moment. Saturday, he's gonna come in like a wrecking ball. Unfortunately, did not happen. What your thoughts on the goal? And I'm gonna play it one more time because I believe today technology is betraying us. I believe that it just actually starts as the ball goes in. I don't think it caught. So I'm just gonna play it one more time. Video because I'm an idiot. Hold on a second, guys. Let me take the banner away of the moment of the game. Again, for the folks watching this or listening to this on audio, this is compelling. Let's see here. One more time. Let's go.
Is that you screaming, come on?
He's muted again.
He's still muted.
Go ahead, Jonathan. What do you think? What do you think of it?
Yeah, guys. What you guys thought about it? Come on.
I know. I mean, look. I've been saying this for a while that Kara is the man, and look, the man's not getting service. Period. He's not been getting service. Every time they pass the ball to him this season, it's been behind him. I'm watching it. I'm watching him from 118. I'm watching in the supporter section. He's getting the ball passed by him. That is not his. It's not his trait. That's not who he is. He's a poacher. He's a target man. I mean, these are guys who basically you set him up, he's going to put it in, or he's a guy who will make nothing out of something like that. I mean, seriously, it's just. The ability to do that in that moment against a top-rated team and with such control and awareness of what's going on, the goalie's out of position. I mean, to understand that takes a lot of talent and a lot of skill. And I know he gets a lot of heat, and I probably will get heat for saying it, but I still think Kara should be in the starting 11 if you give him the right tactics. You got to play for it.
Our friend Ahmed Salim says that was an amazing goal. So, John, can you take us to the to wrap up the Tigres?
To wrap it up.
So we can move on to another sad story.
All told, if you were to tell me coming into the two matches that we were going to equal them in goals, I would have been ecstatic. Unfortunately, like I said, we didn't score any there, so they ended up moving on. I was very happy with the way they looked, especially watching it through the replay. It was exciting soccer. My brother, I talked to my brother after every game. He's compared us to a U12 team before and how boring of soccer it was to watch. He said, John, this one was amazing. It was incredible. So I was really excited going into Saturday, and then Saturday happened.
Yes, Saturday happened. And before we move on, last comment on the game at Tigres. And this is from our friend Jim D. So I told my daughter we scored. I would take it. So I told my daughter we scored. I will take my if I guess I'm sorry, Jim. I will take my shirt off and wave it over my head. I made good on the deal. I'm sorry for anyone who witnessed it. Listen, I lost it. It was fantastic. It was unexpected. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just did not feel that we had it, but I mean, it was an incredible golazo. I mean, it's definitely silenced the Tigres fans
Mhm.
who were this close of losing it. Duncan McGuire was 6 inches from writing his name in gold letters on the foundation of that stadium. It just
Mhm.
did not happen. Football is a cruel and unpredictable game, and I always say it. And if you have been watching me on podcasts, social media, my blog, all that, I always say that in football, you need a pound of talent and an ounce of luck. And it wasn't there for us that night. Proud of the boys as we move on. Now, we left Exploria feeling like the world was our oyster and feeling sorry for Charlotte because they were gonna be the recipients of our beating, or so we thought. Before going to this game, Charlotte was at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. Had scored nothing but 2 goals all season. Their fan base and their podcast, no one saw them winning. Why? Because on paper, Orlando City looked very good. Unfortunately, as we always say in this podcast, football is not played on paper, but on grass.
Mhm.
And while we had a goal disallowed, the first goal, when I went home, unfortunately, because I'm seeing from the south side, so I can't tell. Because I'm looking at the goal from behind. I saw it on the highlights. It was offside by a country mile. So that was a great decision by the ref. And the second one by inches. The would be equalizer by inches. Unfortunately, football is cruel and unpredictable. Now, one of the things that a lot of the fan base is saying is with the firepower that we have, with the rotations that we made to prevent this from happening, there's no way you allow a team that is not going to make playoffs, a team that is having problems. And you know why I know? Because they're going to lose this weekend. I'm telling you, they're going to lose this weekend. There's no way they're going to beat us and then they're going to go climb up to the table and challenge Atlanta for first place. That's not going to happen, folks. The fact of the matter is good teams don't allow this to happen. And while it has happened before, it has happened to my overseas teams that we lose to bottom of the table teams, but it happens deep in the season after a congestion of games. We're just starting.
Mhm.
We're just starting. We have more money in our attack than they have in their whole team. We
Mhm.
have invested more money in our attack that they have invested in their whole team. We
Mhm.
should have won that game.
Yeah.
So, Jonathan, let's start with you.
Look, this is coming down to the tactics. This is coming down to the congestion of the games. We can make excuses where we want. Where you can say, well, you know what, we played 5 games in 15 days, and you want to make that excuse. That's fine. Not with the money that the Wolves have put into this. Not with the amount of talent that we have brought in the top leagues around the world. Uh, all over, there are multiple competitions. You in La Liga, there's La Liga. You had the Copa del Rey. You have the Super Copa de España. And some of the teams got playing Champions League. Some of them got playing Europa. I could go on down the list. They have the depth. They can continue playing at their normal capacity. It's built into the system. There is no reason why we have gassed players having this issue. I mean, I watched especially at the end, the defenders and the offenders and midfielders are running out of gas. Why are we making late subs? Why are we making the wrong subs? Why did we allow Charlotte 2 goals? We versed much better teams and when we had clean sheets. Why did it just implode over there? And I'm not blaming Pedro. Pedro's been bailing us out left and right, right to left, up and down, down and up. But our defenders and our midfield and the offense is leaving him out to dry. It should not have taken that long towards the end of the game to put a goal in. Why is there so much I can't find the right word, but why are we trying much harder in the last 15 minutes instead of playing the entire game with that kind of intensity? Why is that allowed? Why is that okay? This goes back to what we were talking about last week. It's entertainment. The first 20 minutes, it looked like a whole new Orlando. Where did that Orlando come from? And then we regressed back into what we did. And I'll tell you this, and this is just from what I saw. I saw the midfield absolutely collapse. And then Robin Johnson has to start sending long balls to the offense. So we're bypassing the midfield because the midfield's not doing their job. And Robin Johnson and the defense realized that. So now we're sending long balls in, hoping the guy that it lands perfectly at someone's feet to cross the ball in.
Mm-hmm.
We have players who are at the top level who are getting offside calls multiple times. You need to be aware. If you're a striker, you need to know where the offside is. Period. That's part of your job is to tether that line. And if you go back, a lot of those stuff, they were pretty big offsides. So there's a lack of discipline. There's a lack of awareness. There's a lack of enthusiasm on what's happening on this pitch. I don't know what the tactics are. I sit next to a lot of season ticket holders, including myself, who is one, and we've watched this team year after year, and we have not seen a difference in tactics. I don't even know what our tactics are half the time. Last year, it was get it to the wing, cross the ball, and hope to God someone scored with a header. Because we ran out of ideas instead of just driving through the middle. When Pato, Torres, and Cara did that wonderful tiki-taka thing, remember that? It was a long time ago. I forget what team it was. Do you know how we did it? We went through the middle.
Mm-hmm. It was Columbus. It was Columbus away.
Columbus. We went through the middle. We haven't done that since. So you're taking guys who don't know, and I'm not going to point fingers, but you're taking guys who play a specific system, and you're making them do something else that they're not used to, and then they can't complete. They can't finish the goals. So we said the same thing about Rowan last year, where we were going to give him the ball, he would try, and the crosses were terrible. But we're still having the same issue now with other players, and it's not their fault, but no one's getting into the box. And then when they get into the box, there's more defenders than there are offenders. Instead of just doing what we're supposed to do, which is drive through the middle. We have players who are specifically trained to drive through the middle. Facundo Torres knows how to cut through the middle. Cara knows how to go through the middle. He's attacking forward. We could go down the list, and I don't want to take up too much time on it. But this was an absolute joke of a match for us. We played against a Charlotte team that was a dumpster fire. A dumpster fire. They were doing awful. Go watch the other games they were playing against other teams, and you would see how poorly ran they were.
Mm-hmm.
And then they come to us, and in Orlando City fashion, we break the streak, and they just look like they're the best thing on the planet. And then we look like schmucks. I'm tired of being told that this team is tired. LAFC does it. Other teams are doing it. What? Because LAFC has more better players? That's not even whatever. Who cares? These are professional athletes. This is their job. This is their job to come out every time ready to go. And I don't know why. I don't know why my DP striker is sitting on the bench. The guy who just scored a beautiful bicycle kick. We're down. You're throwing all the offenders on the field. How many attacking forwards did we have in the last 15 minutes? Absolutely. And you didn't put your most paid DP striker on the field? The guy he's the other one who scored the goal. You can't make this up. It was atrocious. It's an embarrassment to the club. It's an embarrassment to the fans. It's an embarrassment to the badge that we are not playing beautiful soccer with the amount of money that was invested into this club. The amount of money and the time and energy, the scouting that went into finding these players, and we can't produce anything. I'm tired of it. This is not JOC stuff. This is it's unbelievable. There's got to be something better.
Yeah. And before I give the microphone to John, I would like to thank the 15 people that are watching us live. I would like to point out our good friend Eddie the Commish, Eddie Cruz, tweeted. We all know if we had tied today, half the fan base will be like undefeated at home. They've always showed hard. Hate, it would have been worse. We could have lost. Tell me I'm lying. You know it's true. Facts is you don't go down 2-0 at home, and especially not against Charlotte. John?
Yeah, I mean, Jonathan stole the words right out of my mouth. They're professional athletes. I'm sick and tired of hearing people, specifically on Twitter, because that's the only place I am. I'm not going to call anybody specific out. But people on Twitter saying, oh, we had 5 games in 15 days. They're tired. They're this, they're that. They need time to gel. These are all new players. Well, let's see. You have what? A month and 6 weeks of preseason. Mm-hmm. You practice Monday through Thursday, maybe Friday, depending on, you might have some sort of type of walkthrough on Friday or whatever. You do that every week after week, 6 weeks before the season, every week in the season. If they're not gelling there, they're not going to. The time for gelling and working on things is the preseason and training, not during a match. The matches, I played basketball a lot when I was younger. I played a lot of sports, but basketball was what I really love. Look at my skin and look at my build, and you would laugh about it. But John Wooden, I believe it was, said games are supposed to be fun, practices are supposed to kill you, something to that effect. And with this team, like Jonathan was saying, doesn't look that way. The games are killing them. I mean, this team legitimately looks out of shape. They can't run for 45 straight minutes without looking like they're gassed. That's not a good look to have. And then, there's no identity to the team. What is the method going forward on offense? They look like they want to bring it down the wing. If it's on the left side, it's going down the wing, but then magically the guy cuts it in and tries to go in the middle instead of sending across it. Well, it gets on the right side with Torres. All of a sudden, we're trying to play it through the middle. There's no continuity in what our offense is doing. There's no movement in our offense. Cool, bring it up the wings. There has to be guys going crisscrossing and filling spaces and moving from space. Same thing with the middle. I mean, there's just no plan, no game plan for the attack. And then defensively, Antonio Carlos, him not being in there kills us. Schlegel's done a great job. Schlegel would be starting for a lot of teams. So this isn't a hate on Schlegel. This is just when you have 2 center backs, they have to complement each other. Schlegel and Janssen do not complement each other, in my opinion. Schlegel tends to be out of position a lot, and part of that is he likes to go forward. Well, Janssen likes to go forward too. You can't, especially early in the game when you're not chasing goals, you can't have both center backs kind of flip-flopping like that. That's basically what happened with their first goal. And then this year, our midfield is dreadful, which it shouldn't be. Pereira seems like he may have taken a step backwards. He's 32, I believe. If I'm wrong about that, you guys can correct me.
He was born in 89, so what's that, 32?
So 33, 34. He's my age. I was born in 89.
Starting to feel it.
I'm a big guy, but still, I know when I turned 30, I felt a huge difference in the way my legs and everything felt after, I was playing basketball or even going to a match. So, we really have to think, the coaching staff really has to think, is Pereira the answer going forward? I want to know what a, Cartagena, Araujo, and Dagger Dan would look like, or Dagger, the combination without Pereira to start the game, without a rotated lineup. Take him off, give him a rest if that's what he needs, I know I just said he was professional athletes, but maybe with his age, different people age differently. Maybe it has something to do with that. But this team is, I feel like, in shambles. It's embarrassing. We should have first 20 minutes of the game, like Jonathan said, I was like, let's do this. This is a brand new team. This is the way we should look. And then all of a sudden our midfield just rolls over and dies.
It looked like we were playing Tigres again with the same intensity in the first 20 minutes.
Yep.
And you hit a great point, and I'm pretty sure you saw it too. And I'm sorry, David, I'll end it.
No, go ahead.
How many times did we see Duncan in the middle with open space, ready for the pass, and then they pass it to the wing?
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's right there giving the damn ball. But no, we're just gonna go to the wing, and then we get stuck in the corner, and then we got pulled all the way back to the defense again. Sorry, I just had to say.
And
that.
then the long throws, we have to stop doing the long throws. We the first time all season, we actually got a corner kick. Something semi-positive happened out of a long throw-in, and we got a corner kick. I don't understand why when Kara's not in, he's 6'3" and can jump a little bit. Why we're not holding possession more on throw-ins. We're throwing the ball to the middle. It's getting cleared by the defense. It's a waste of a throw-in opportunity.
I'm glad we stopped doing short corner kicks.
Yeah, I would like to share this with you guys. This is from the English Lion on Twitter. Dan, send you a big hug, my friend. He wrote, Charlotte just throwing on Derby County rejects, and we got over 30 million of attacking talent on the pitch. Charlotte are winning. I mean, if this is not an indictment on the situation that is going on with our club, I don't know what is. I would like to go to some of the comments here. Let's see. The first one is, and I would like to thank the 14 people that are with us live. Jim D, it is clear the team is trained to not go forward at the expense of defending. Coach wants strikers, wingers, and number 10 to all defense first. And we have another comment here from Mr. J Santos 7. This is the only team I root for that has fans making excuses for players and the coach. If it's not the players, it's the coach. Yeah. And Mr. Santos, you are about to enter the twilight zone as soon as we are done with this, because we have sources within the club that would like to discuss the situation of our beloved club. And I told this gentleman the time to jump off the ship, quit, and call in sick was before we started recording, because we're going to become public enemy number 1 in this podcast. We have two choices tonight. We can be hypocrites and be liked by everybody and have everybody give us likes and follows and hearts and RTs and all that crap. Or we can be honest with you, because that's what you deserve to hear, and tell you the truth. We're not going to sugarcoat everything. So in this podcast, we ran out of unicorns and goldfish a long time ago. So just hold on. I promise you, it's going to be worth the price of admission. And last, Jim D, our set pieces are horrendous. When was the last time we scored from a set piece? Anybody remembers?
I think it was Mauricio Pereira last year, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was like mid-season.
Was it the Atlanta game when we caught their keeper sleeping?
Yes.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Yes. That's right. That's what.
Yes, my friends. Yep. And from a corner, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. It was in Toronto with that beautiful Pato set piece that just landed on the head of the accountant Smith. So, friends, numbers don't lie. Nope. So I'm gonna go and show you guys the goal of the game. Well, there was only one, so very easy to pick. I would like to say this though. Duncan McGuire is impressing the heck out of me. This is a guy that, in my opinion, has a future with the national team. This is a guy that when he hangs his boots in Orlando, he's gonna be remembered as a legend. His work rate This goal doesn't happen without him.
Yep.
He had a goal in DC, an assist today. In my opinion, if to me, Duncan has to be part of the equation for our strikers to function because he does a lot of heavy lifting. He's not there for the glory. He puts himself in dangerous areas, and I would like to see more of him. So, Duncan, if somehow you manage to listen to this, I just want to tell you, in my 30 years of watching football, I have never seen a football player with such much potential, an American.
Yeah.
This corn-fed Nebraskan is going to be busting heads. Mark my words. May not be next week or the next month or next year, but I'm telling you right now, we're very lucky to have him. So this is the goal that cut the difference. This was Martin Ojeda with the assist of Duncan McGuire, cutting the deficit in half. Unfortunately, was not enough. Is cut in the first 3 seconds when the goal happens. So we're just gonna do it one more time.
Such a good
David's muted again.
It's,
There you go,
it,
David.
it's been a nightmare, people, but it's live. It's live, and you guys lost for it. So to finish, we need to address this because I think it's critical. And I'm gonna say it because I spoke with a person with Luis Pineda. We remain friends, even though everybody knows I left the podcast Loud and Proud Orlando. That's not a secret. You know, him and I had differences on the direction of where the podcast should have been, and I decided that the best thing for me was to just go do my own thing. We still talk, you know. I have nothing but nice things to say about that, about him, about his show, about the people on the show. They're all friends. So he posted a video of the conference after the game, and there was an intrusion from fans where they yelled at Oscar Pareja some foul language. A lot of people are upset about that, but the reality is, my friends, is that this is what happens throughout the world. Each country has ways of doing things. Some places they slash tires, they burn cars, they throw garbage, they go inside locker rooms, they beat up people. I'm not condoning any of this, and to me, this is not passion, this is not culture. This situations that have happened, and you gotta remember, as a cosmopolitan of a city as we are, there's people that grew up in football culture outside of the United States where this is how they lash out. Okay, was it the right thing to do? No, I have a lot of respect for Oscar Pareja as a manager and as a person, but it happened, and you know, it can be a lot can be said. Was it the right thing to post? Was it not the right thing to post? I'm not here to judge anybody, Star Wars or anything. We're friends with all the podcasters. We're a brotherhood. You don't make money doing podcasting. It costs money to do podcasting. Takes your time and all that. And you know, he felt that it was necessary to show that ugly face of our fandom. It offended some people. So I just want to say that this is leading us to our next topic. I would like for the guys to say their last words on the game before we move on to a very serious, divisive issue. And I will be reading from a conversation that I had with an Orlando City insider And actually, two people contacted me, one via DM, the other one to my personal phone, because the situation in the club is not as rosy and as comfortable as some people on Twitter will like you to believe. So, John, let's start with you, and then we're going to finish with Jonathan. We lost. We're ninth. So with 5 points, we're moving on. We're going to be facing Philly, which is not going to be easy, as we are going to be missing. I'm going to tell you guys how many people we're going to be missing real quick that were called up to national teams. Calese, Cartagena, Torres, Freeman, Loyola, Holiday, and Williams. Guys, go ahead, John.
So, yeah, to wrap up, they got to figure it out. We're on track to score 25 goals. 25 and a half goals is exactly what we're on track of. This team's too good to do that. Kind of feel like I'm going to be committed to an insane asylum soon because, insanity's doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results without them coming. And it's kind of what it feels like at this point, this early in the season, unfortunately.
All right, Jonathan.
You nailed it right there with the expected goals. If 25 goals is what we're on track for, we have a much serious problem, way bigger. Thank God there's no relegation in this league, because with 25 goals, that's just awful. I just want to touch base very slightly on that incident with the video. That's where that took place. That's by Gate D. That's the West Club, and the only people who can get over there are the West Club members. No supporter section. Supporter groups can get in there. No regular lower tier fan can get in there. And I can only just say you spend a lot of money to come in there to watch this team play and to disrespect the coach by banging on the window during a press conference. Shame on you. Shame on you, because you don't realize what this man has brought to this club, whether you may like it or not at the moment or what's happening, but what he's brought to this club in Open Cup in the playoffs, and to do that, no, you look like a jackass. And again, I apologize for my French, but that it absolutely boiled my blood when I saw that.
Well, absolutely, we're gonna leave it at that. When it comes to Charlotte, we're gonna be facing them at their house later on in the season, hopefully in better spirits. We unfortunately, because of the problems that we're having with technology, I'm just gonna go ahead and read the we had a poll, and evidently this is something wrong with my computer because it's taking forever. And in that poll, we asked the questions of, and I left them bookmarked, and of course they have moved on. But I'm not gonna wait on it. We asked the questions, and basically one of the questions was, are you satisfied with the performance of Orlando City? The no one, and the other one was, is it time for a new manager? And the no one. So it's sort of I don't know how to take those results. You don't like what's going on, but at the same time, you don't feel that it's time for a new manager. I think it's kind of productive. I'm gonna go to some of the comments here because this is gonna usher our next topic, and this is. And my apologies, the technology today is not working with us. William Aguilar, I'm afraid that Orlando City might have just peaked last season. It's to say that the peak wasn't great, but I really thought they will keep the momentum going. Jim D, I've said it before, take our 3 DPs away. Will we score less goals? Probably not. Will we play basically the same? I say yes. That is a huge problem. And last year, but not least, a Banjo. Did we ever use that DP spot that we brought from Atlanta? And right now, your DPs are Cara, Torres, and Ojeda. So yes, we have used the DPs. So we are going to the topic that nobody wants to touch because it's a hot potato right now, and that is, do we need a new manager? All right. So the person that contacted me to my phone is somebody well respected. Some will probably will say legendary in his own right. Somebody that loves the club very much, and he tells me the following: My brother, good day. I think that Orlando needs uh, that needs the tree shaken. Stop playing to anything. Doesn't have it can't score goals. Is inadmissible to lose at home to a team that couldn't score goals before this game. And okay, and I responded to him. My fear is that we finish ninth, we fight to get into the playoffs, and we called it a success. And this person responds, I don't think that Pareja will reach the end of the season. This weekend, we're visiting Philadelphia without Galese, without Facundo. Most likely another loss. And I said to this person, if we lose in Philadelphia and at home against Nashville, does he leave? And he says, depends on the loss in Philadelphia. A goleada, which basically is a Spanish term to losing by 3 goals or more. Ugly goleada, and he won't be leading this team to face Nashville. Another person reached out to me to my DMs, and this person says the following. The club turnaround is due to Ricardo's vision, meaning Ricardo Moreira, and dedication and knowledge. Even even said he has a different vision than Luis and Oscar in terms of the way they lead in recruitment. I heard he's burning out and he's not with the power of the final saying in coaching and players. But owners like him and see other clubs approaching him. Just had to say it because I saw a crazy Instagram account roasting him. Well, I think and I think that we owe him a lot. Great guy and professional. I know that he is tired. That I know that our assistant GM is tired of Oscar Pareja. This is you're hearing this from the first time. Tell your friends. You want to hear the harsh truth? You come here. If you want to go somewhere else so they can give you milk, warm milk, and put you to bed, I suggest you go there if you want to be told everything is fine. The level of approach to games and what he extracts from the abundant talent we have. Too much talent, David, and we just can't play safe and win against crappy teams. Why? Question mark, question mark, question mark. He's right now in Europe, and Ojeda, Facu, and Cara, they all play with no joy. It is my opinion that they are not, regardless of how the season ends, they're not going to renew Oscar Pareja's contract. And I asked, well, I see the not renewing him with suspicion. What's going on? Um, he mentions that Ricardo's probably looking at the next step. Mm-hmm. If it was me, I would pay him a GM, though, Musi to attach to Pareja. And we finish with this. Pareja's teams are always boring. The money spent by the Wolves on the team shows the commitment. I just don't think I will invest a lot in the attacking having Pareja as the head coach. And the bomb it goes off here where he says that this past week our assistant GM Ricardo Moreira was interviewed by Brentford, a team in the English Premier League. So that's it, my friends. That's where we are. And I'm sorry to guys. I'm sorry to be taking over so much of the microphone, but trust me, I will give you the opportunity
No, you're
to
fine.
to talk. I just want to let the fans know.
Yeah.
This is what this podcast is all about. It's about discussing the uncomfortable truths. Okay. Oscar Pareja has been here for 112 games, 45 wins, 34 draws, 33 losses. Oscar Pareja's teams have scored 161 goals, have received 149 goals for a goal differential of plus 12. Before, all other managers put together 183 games with a goal differential of negative 86, 247 goals for, 319 against. Oscar Pareja has 112 games. The closest manager that comes to him is Jason Kress with 65, Inchi with 56, and James O'Connor with 55. And I will finish with this. Oscar Pareja deserves our respect. He came, took a losing team, and elevated them to not only win Open Cup, but to make the final for MLS is back. A lot of people forget about that. And we were very unfortunate not to win that one. But for every season, there's leaders. I believe this is as far as he's going to take us. I like Oscar Pareja. I think he's a man of faith. He is in everything that he does. He gives everything of himself. He is a player's coach. He respects the fans. And I know that what happened in that post-game interview hurt him. I know that I did. But it's time to look somewhere else. It's time to look at new horizons. If you look at Columbus, they won an MLS Cup in 2020, and in 2022 they were firing the same manager.
Mm-hmm.
So winning is not a guarantee in this industry that you're going to have a job. Managers know that it's a short tenure. In fact, 4 years at the same club already says that trust was placed on Oscar. Oscar came in during a ownership that's all they could afford. The Wolves did him a favor, kept him here, gave him the opportunity. And I'm very honest with you when I tell you this. Had Oscar Pareja lost against Red Bulls in Open Cup, he would have been fired that night. That was the intention. Ownership gave him an opportunity, which God bless the man. We went out against Red Bulls. We beat him. We won the Open Cup, and that's why he's here. But it's telling that he has not been renewed. His contract expires in December. And I finished with this so the guys can give us their comments. My English team, Stevenage, last year at this time was 7 games away from relegation to the National League. If you watch Welcome to Wrexham, you know how difficult it is to get out of that league. Wrexham has invested millions, and last year they failed to get out of it. I seriously doubt that Stevenage would have managed to do that. They brought in a new manager. Manager saves the team. They with 5 points clear of relegation with the same players, not his people, same players that were losing before. And today, Stevenage sits in the second spot of the table in League Two, already with 10 games left, looking at promotion to League One for the first time since 2015. And my Israeli team, Maccabi Haifa, for 10 years, finished top 5 on the table. Never first. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. They make a manager change, a manager that have been there for those 10 years. Very well liked, all that. The new manager takes them to 3 consecutive championships. This year will be the 3rd. And takes them to UEFA's Champions League, where they finish their Cinderella story with Lionel Messi and PSG company going to Haifa and kicking their teeth in. Managers do matter.
Yep.
Managers do matter. And I'm tired of this fan base vilifying people because we hold a different opinion. People will tell you things. I'm gonna unfollow you. I'm not gonna watch your content. I'm gonna block you simply because we're telling the truth. We need a new manager. We play boring football. We can't score. We spend $30 million on attacking players and we lose to a trash team. I don't care that it was the 15th game in 10 days. These are professionals. They're supposed to win. And you, the supporter who pays $30 to park, $20 to park, whatever it is, tolls, gas, and all that, and comes to the stadium, deserves a better product. The club owes that to you. And if you believe that the club doesn't owe you anything, then please send me the money. Please send me the money. Give me money away. Gift it away in the streets of Orlando. If you believe that it's perfectly okay to pay all that expenses, sit in your expensive seat, and have some clown from Charlotte jumping up and down as if they had won the World Cup. John.
Yeah, Oscar Pereira has brought us down from the back up from the depths. What he has done has been very close to a miracle because he essentially did it from day one. Took us from a team that had a very poor reputation of playing losing soccer to a team that now 3 years in a row we have made the playoffs. With that being said, I 100% think he's reached his peak. Jim D posted on Twitter the other day a very good point and said something to the effect of, if we only play with our bench players, but we play different, and would they be the different results? If that answer is no, then there is a problem with the leadership, with the person that is giving these guys the schemes to on the field and how to play on the field. Each coach has his system. I don't care what it is, what sport it is. Tennis coaches have their own systems. Golf, something I'm very familiar with, coaches have their systems. So when you have a team that just spent nearly $30 million on attacking players over the offseason, especially over the last 2 years, and you're on track to score 25 goals throughout the season through 4 games. You've played 2 other games in a different competition where you scored 1 goal. And you went all last year with not looking much different. It's not the players. It's 100% the coach. And I agree with you, David. I am sick and tired of this fan base. You either want to be a fan base that can hold our chest high and say, hey, we are a good team. We are a good organization. We are a good club. We're going to win, or not. You want to go back to the James O'Connor days, because that's where we're heading. MLS is passing us by very quickly. You look on Twitter and you see all the rumors going about of Team X is trying to sign this player, Team B is trying to sign this international. Yeah, we have the players. We don't really need to sign anybody right now, but the league is very quickly going to pass Pareja by and his techniques by. We need a new coach now before the season's a complete wash, before we lose Torres over the summer or over the winter. I don't care if he has a bad year. He's got people around him that'll sit there here and tell Arsenal, hey, he doesn't get along with the coach. You saw what he can do last year. That last year's the Torres is the way Torres is, not this year, because this is how the coach wants him to play. He's got people to do that for him. We already know as a fan base, if Torres is here past December, even with a new contract, we will be very, very fortunate. With that being said, we'll still have a lot of talent here next year, but we don't want to waste what we have right now. We have a borderline wonder kid in Torres that it would be a shame if all we got out of him, all we got while he was here, is an Open Cup. Yes, it was a magical run, but it was a boring magical run, except for the Red Bulls match. So, I don't care what happens. I do care from a fan standpoint, But as far as Oscar goes, my opinion is get him, move on to the next guy that the ownership finds, that the front office finds, that can take us to that next step. The Wolves keep saying they're investing in this club. Make a blockbuster signing at manager. I'm not saying this is who I would necessarily want. Sign Jesse Marsh. Jesse Marsh is available. Why not sign him? I can't think of his name. The guy that just was released by Crystal
I got a
Palace.
list, but keep.
Yeah, exactly. Make a blockbuster signing. Why not knock the lid off the league, get ahead of the league and who's coaching the teams, and make a blockbuster signing. I could go on for 3 hours about this. Ask my girlfriend. I'll let you go ahead, Jonathan.
So I wanted, if you don't mind, David, can we? Because I'm seeing it. Can we go over some of the comments that are being put? Because I want to answer some because a lot of them. For those who are not in the live, there have been some really good stuff. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Misael Rosa.
Yeah.
In my opinion, this is Oscar's last season, unless by miracle we win the MLS Cup.
That's just not feasible. We're not winning an MLS Cup, not with the way we're playing. Mm-hmm. That's just not possible. Again, Rosa says you guys think he's lost the team in the locker room. I'm not going to speculate. I don't know, but I can tell you is the team that was playing last year, the same guys who are here are not playing the same way as they were before.
Yeah, let me go ahead and read this, Jonathan, for the benefit of the people.
You guys think he's lost the team in the locker room? He himself admitted that they don't like his rotation. Maybe the players see they should or could do a different things, and they need a different voice. Look, last year we had this conversation. Remember there was that whole thing that went on in the locker room with not Antonio Carlos. Maybe I could be wrong. But I remember there being like a very strong outburst inside. It was
that was during James O'Connor, and it was a fight between Mohamed.
No, I thought this was last year.
No, there was one last year. I can't remember who it was.
I have no idea.
There was a rumor going around that they had lost the locker room for a hot minute and they had to regroup. This is during August when the game was.
I remember Mauricio Pereira calling for a meeting.
Yes.
For everybody to wear their differences. I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, look, here's the thing. If I'm not going to say I want to get rid of Pereira, because if we do get rid of him, who do you replace with? Now I know you have a list. And, the first person that definitely comes to my mind, and I don't know how well it would work, but it'd be a really wonderful Cinderella story, is watching Kaká come in and potentially take the reins. I mean, look, as a Real Madrid fan, before and everything, watching Zinedine Zidane come in and working some sort of miracle, the ball fraud is what they say it on the internet. I mean, it's a wet dream for a lot of people. Banjo says we haven't had a true leader on the field since Nani. I agree. There's no one on this team that I go, God, this guy's a leader. Because you know what? Nani brought stability. And whether, his decline came a lot more rapid at the end, the guy knew how to control the locker room. Mm-hmm. And people respected Nani because he was a Euro winner. He's a multiple-time Premier League winner. He's got a Champions League win on his belt, I believe, as well. I mean, the guy is pure talent. And we were blessed to have Nani come on this team and really, these little sparks of moments, especially during the MLS is back tournament. I mean, it's just beautiful. Ahmed says, how the saying goes, be careful what you wish for. I think getting rid of Pereira now would be a mistake. It's too early in there. And there's so many factors to play. This is where we need to be as a club, which is if you're going to make the jump, you got to do it now. Or if you're going to do it. And he also responds, plus a new coach comes in now. What becomes of his season? Would there still be hope? My question to you is do you feel like there's hope now? Do you feel like if we stick with this, is this project going to continue or are we going to burn bridges? I mean, I watched Kara on the sidelines when he didn't get called up for one of the matches. I think it was Cincinnati, and you could just see when Duncan McGuire got called in, that Kara just looked out and he just looked defeated. Your DP striker, the guy who came from your banging in 20 plus goals in a season, and then he comes here and he can't do it. It's not the player. The player's done it. He's done it already. We're paying him the money for it. He can do it. It's the tactics. Rosa then responds, which is why I believe we need a proven vet on this team as well. I agree. But the question is who do you bring? You know, we're trying to get away from. Go ahead.
No, I have the list, and I would like to hear you guys' opinion on this.
Yeah.
This are on a quick Google search. These are the football managers that are available at this moment. How feasible they are to come to MLS. How feasible they are to be hired by Orlando City. Obviously, we're in intangibles. What ifs? Mauricio Pochettino, and I'm gonna butcher some of these names. I'm sorry. Thomas Tuchel, Tuchel. Tuchel. Zinedine Zidane. Okay, great. Thank you. I don't follow.
Oh, good. I got you. I'm here for you.
Rafael Benitez,
Yep.
Marcelo Bielsa, Antonio Conte, Andre Villas-Boas, Joachim Low, Sean Dyche, Dyche, Jesse Marsh, which obviously comes with MLS experience, Luis Enrique, Lucien Favre, Roberto Martinez, Marcelino, Marcelo Gallardo, Rudy Garcia, and Tite. So that's it. And Patrick Vieira, who already managed New York City. What do you think? What's the magic pill here?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the comments, I don't want a wasted season. I'd rather have somebody come in and it not really work and kind of stay as the status quo, because we're not going to bring somebody in that's less. And this isn't saying anything bad about Oscar Pereira whatsoever. I think he's a great coach. The average time a coach worldwide, a manager, is with a club is 1 year, 172 days. He's been here for almost 4 years now, if not 4 years. So he has been here an absolute eternity and got us 3 playoff appearances in the U.S. Open Cup. He's not.
Go ahead, John. Read that whenever you have the money. Go ahead and read the comment.
Oh, okay. The thing that made Nani great is he was too big to fall in line with our system. You can't tell Nani just to play defense. Yeah, you could tell that when Nani played that he wasn't playing defense. Tyler Klink says, I'm with Ahmed. I'm not Pereira out yet. I think his seat is getting warm, but it's not on fire yet. The lack of goals with the attacking options is concerning. Listen, I'm not saying Pereira out. Like, I see where you guys are coming from. That's the one fear, and I'm sure you two have thought about it as well, is we bring a guy in and all of a sudden we're losing match after match after match again. That's a fear. That's a very logical point.
Mm-hmm.
But where we're going right now, I would rather miss the playoffs and have to do almost a whole new rebuild with a system than continue spending my money, borderline wasting my money, as David was saying, and the team looking lackluster. Listen, Torres, you see all the pictures of Torres when he was playing back home for Penarol. He's smiling. The dude had joy in his game. I haven't seen him smile once except for after he scored that penalty kick when he looked up in the stands to his girlfriend. He's not playing with joy. The same thing with Ojeda. Ojeda, he has a more serious look than Torres, but you never see these guys like play with joy. You're supposed to play soccer with a joy about you. That doesn't mean you're not going to look like you're working hard and everything, but there's definitely something going on behind the scenes. And real quick, the last thing I'm going to bring up is a quote that officially took me to the get rid of Oscar. Some people said it was a misinterpretation on his end. I don't think so. Oscar is a very smart man. He knows English very well. You can tell he thinks about every word he says when he is, especially replying in English. This was from the English Line, our friend on Twitter at the English Line. He said he asked Oscar if he was concerned or nervous about the club's continued struggles at Exploria Stadium. He told me he's always nervous working in football and doesn't know any other way. He and the team will work to turn things around at home. Listen, as a manager, as a coach, you have to be 100% confident in what you're doing. If you're nervous whatsoever, that's going to reflect on the team. That's the team I've seen for a year and a month now. And I want it to end, and I want a team that on paper should be winning match after match after match by 2-0, 3-0 goal deficits.
I just don't know if this fan base can really handle another rebuild. We keep rebuilding and we keep rebuilding
absolutely.
and we rebuild. I mean, it's just, I hear what you're saying, and I and if I may, and then you can cut me off whenever, but I don't know if I can physically stomach another rebuild. I'm not saying I'm leaving by any means, but it's exhausting using the word rebuild. If we get rid of Perea, which I'm not for and I'm not against. I'm in the middle because I'm torn. I'm really it's like a relationship that you feel like you could save, but maybe not. You're not wrong when the players don't look like they have joy in them. You're not wrong. I see it, and it shows on the field. I know you named off those people on the list. I don't know how confident I would be getting them to come to Orlando City unless the Wolves dish out a ton of money. It would be really cool to watch. But this idea of us doing a rebuild and sacrificing the season, then all the money that we as fans have already invested into it is gone. And I know for a fact that if we go one way or another, if we decide to get rid of Pratt, you got to rip it off like a Band-Aid. And we got to have someone in the pocket ready to go to jump in and change. Because I agree with David, you're absolutely right. I've watched teams where they go night and day from one manager to the next, and it's a whole new team. You go, my God, where did this come from? I'm here for. I've watched it. I could talk about when Rafa Benitez and I can't remember his other name, and then Zinedine Zidane came and took over Real Madrid, and it's night and day. You're like, holy crap! I just know that this fan base is torn down the middle right now. I feel like it's been more torn than ever. This isn't like when JOC was here and others. This is a fan base that has experienced a lot of trauma, and we don't know what direction to go in, and that's not a good thing because the club needs to make that decision. If this club is ready to move on with Perea, you got to do it now. You got to have someone in the pocket, and you better ready to go because we still got a whole season still. We're only 5 games in. We got Leagues Cup. We have Open Cup. This is still a salvageable season. If you're going to do it now.
Do it now.
But don't do it in the sense that you're ready to risk going at the bottom of the table. I can't handle another wooden spoon. But
no, I'm with you. And I'll real quick, guys.
Yeah,
I would like to read this and then take care of the comments so they won't pile up. This is from our buddy Taylor, Orlando City, UK. This was his assessment of the game. Bitterly disappointing result. Gave ourselves way too much to do after a really poor and pedestrian first half. More quality second half. Nevertheless, there should be an inquest into how sloppy we started the game. And my heart goes out to the faithful in Europe that kickoff is like 12:30, 1:30, depending on the year, and they stay up all night watching this team. And they're rewarded with a sloppy performance like that. Real quick, I'm just gonna read this once real quick. Banjo, we need a big name vet to control the team. Next, Misael Rosa. I think it matters how we got into those playoffs. Yes, he gave us 3 appearances, but the last 2 were made on decision day. It wasn't comfortable at all, and I agree 1,000% on that. And also, we were kicked out in the first game. If we get less than 5 points by the time we play the Galaxy, I think we're having some serious conversations about changes, and that's Tyler Klink. And last but not least, E. Trumick. I like my boy Banjo's thinking. So I agree with you guys, and I'm gonna give the microphone here to John real quick. I agree with you guys on that assessment. Personally, like I said, my team last year, 7 games. That's all it took. 7 games, 7 players for Steve Evans, who's the manager of Orlando, Stevenage, to salvage the season and take us to number 2 on the table. And not only that, to go on a deep FA Cup run where we went to Aston Villa's house and we banged him 2-1 coming back from 1-0 at the half. It's possible, friends. It's possible to salvage the season. Now, John and Jonathan have said, we have to have somebody on the wings. We have to have somebody that is capable. We have to have somebody with experience. And before I give the microphone to John, I have to remind everybody, I understand the fears of, we have done this before. No, we haven't, because we were in the poorhouse. We were ownership that could barely keep the lights on. We have an ownership with $5 billion that not only owns us, but owns the Minnesota Vikings. That is cash money in the bank. And last, we can go and make the changes that we need, salvage the season. If you remember 2016, Seattle did it, and they ended up winning. I'm sorry, it wasn't 16, it was 17, I believe. And they ended up winning MLS Cup that year. It's possible if we have talent. Once again, I would like to remind everybody the amount of talent that we have in this team on paper. Everybody had us at the top of the league. Only BWP and David, somebody that his name I don't remember now, and it doesn't matter. And David, you betrayed me because you're Jewish, and I thought you were my boy, but you put my team last. You are nothing to me. You're dead to me. So with that said, John, what do you think? Is removing the manager a bad decision? Yes or no? And then we're gonna go to you, Jonathan, to close up the topic and move on to the last.
Right now, the way the team is, I would say it is not. But it can't be where we wait 3 months, 2 months, a month even to find a coach. It has to be where we have a very short list of guys. We get them hired within a couple weeks, and they get over here and start doing what they need to, or even the next day. If they already have somebody, like Jonathan was saying, in their pocket that they know they want, and that person's on board, do it. We can't wait any period of time. The season's still young. We still have virtually an entire season to play for. But unfortunately, the track record of our current manager just doesn't hold up to what we should be doing. And, I do think it's time, unfortunately, to part ways. And trust me, when Poppy comes back, I'll be the first person sitting there cheering, when they introduce him, cheering on the field and, in the stands when they announce him. And, I thank him for everything he's done. I'm not disrespecting him in any way. I wish it would work out, but unfortunately it's not.
Yeah, I will say this. I know we touched on this a lot on the internet. I remember when people said, "Do we build Poppy a statue?" I would have no problem doing that. The man brought us an open cup.
Agreed.
There's and some people say, "Well, we failed upwards and we failed to success because we went to 2 penalty kicks with Nashville, Miami." I don't care. Poppy has brought a lot to this club that you would not have gotten at that time. Is getting rid of the manager right now the bad thing? I don't disagree. I think if you want to replace him, as long as we don't have an interim coach, and you have someone actually that you want to run this club and to run this team, I'm all for it. Because if we have to continue watching what I'm watching and that we're watching, I apologize. I can't do that. It's not appetizing football. It's just not. It's not pleasing the players. You could just tell they're not happy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with replacing Poppy so long as we got someone in the pocket ready to go.
Absolutely.
Oh boy, he did.
Tyler Klink. I liked you, David, until I heard you support Stevenage. I'm a Villa fan, and I listen, Tyler. This is gonna come shocking to many of you. I'm gonna show this. This is a picture of the jersey that was worn in that game against Villa, signed by all of Stevenage. The SLO of Stevenage did a solid for your boy. As a matter of fact, I have to tell you a true story. Stevenage is wearing purple as the away color this year. Why? Because of your boy. Okay, that's all I gotta say. That's what happens. That's what happens. That's what happens when you love a club with every fiber of your body. And if Tyler, if a cool story, and maybe Taylor, our friend Taylor Williams from Orlando City, UK, is gonna kill me, but He's a Stevenage native. Stevenage is his second team. His first one is Arsenal, and his wife's favorite team is Villa. And he bought the same jersey that I just showed you. I wouldn't wear that around the house. Me personally, sleeping on the couch may not be my favorite thing to do, but there you go. All right, friends. So that's a hot topic. Thank you, everybody. I have one last comment here. I would like to show real quick before we move on because the night is getting deep. Jim D US Open Cup was our crowning jewel, but we basically got there on PKs. Literally, I'm sure if I say Philly, Atlanta with a big L, or Miami, take it seriously this year, that we could win again. And last Tyler Klink, in all seriousness, you deserve to win that FA Cup match. We look atrocious. Well, football is football, my friend. And I always say, 90-minute rivals, friends for life. I don't hold that against you, that you win against the tricky Reds of England.
Jim D's not wrong,
happens.
by the way.
Oh, there you go. All right,
Jim
so
D,
we gotta go. All right, friends. So we're gonna go to our last topic. We're going to Philadelphia away, and I would like to tell everybody we are going to be with our friends of the MLS Slander podcast, talking about our soon-to-be match this Saturday against Philadelphia. We're gonna be recording on Wednesday. At the moment, that's the plan. So once we have a link, we'll be sharing that with you guys. And this is the history between these two clubs. Real quick, and today is not my day because the technology has betrayed me. But I can tell you this: the history between these two clubs is a simple one. Last time we saw these guys, we lost 5-1 in Chester, Pennsylvania. That was in September. Before, in July, they came to our house, beat us 1-0, and that's that famous game where Arsenal and Chelsea were playing down the street, and basically nobody was at the stadium. I wasn't there. I was on vacation, so I missed out. What I was told was one of the worst Orlando City performances in the season. Before that, in May, we defeated them 2-1 in the US Open Cup, as you all know. All-time series: 7 wins to Philadelphia, 4 to Orlando, 5 draws. It's expected to be cold, wet, miserable. We are going to be without some of our heavy talent. We were supposed to also miss Wilfredo Rivera, but Puerto Rico chose not to call their heavy hitters against the British Virgin Islands. I'm gonna be honest with you. Right now, we can put the U10s and defeat the British Virgin Islands. No offense to them. So who knows? We may actually see Wilfredo Rivera's debut with the first team. Guys, what do you guys think is gonna happen? Big implications for Oscar Pareja, as you guys know, within the club itself. They fear for his job if this becomes a slaughterhouse. Let's start with you, Jonathan. What you think is going to happen? Predictions, and if we lose there, what is that going to mean when we return home to face Nashville?
When we go to Philadelphia, I'm going to pray that we at least draw, because I have no confidence in us winning. I just don't. If it's either going to be a really low scoring game, because we did a Boppy special and they got a goal at the last minute like a cardiac cat, or it's going to be a slaughter. And it's going to be relentless. We're going to get bombarded by the attack, and it's just good. We could potentially get obliterated. If that happens and Poppy comes back and he still has a job, and we have even tougher times against Nashville, that's it. There's no way. Not with the amount of money that we spent. Poppy is more than just in the hot seat. His seat is on fire right now, and he's got an only option to either quell the fire, or he himself is going to get fired. See what I did there? But I don't see us doing well. Not with this. No. Not without our heavy hitters. We're not going to have Pedro. And I mean, how many times has this man bailed us out? So
Oh,
I'm looking at
absolutely.
that. I do not see a win. I see a loss or a miracle of a draw.
John?
Yeah. I mean, luckily, Philadelphia is going to be missing a boatload of players. They will be basically playing their C/B minus lineup, from what I understand. Um, we talked a big game coming into the season about building our depth. The front office did. Like Jonathan said, with how down I am on the team, I just hope we draw at this point and don't get obliterated. I mean, this game does call perfectly for a Poppy special with the way the weather's going to be, with players missing and everything. But if it was me, it'd be my time and say, hey, guess what? Gonzalez, Cara, Ojeda, go out there and make a fool of these guys and show them what you can do and really shove it down their throats. But we all know that's in all likelihood not going to happen with the way this team has played this season. So I'm just hoping for a draw, hoping we don't get obliterated. Hoping the defense, if the defense has a good game, the back four have a good game, we do have a shot. They have to stop making silly high school level errors in their defense, and we will have a shot, but I don't have a good feeling about this match coming up.
No, I'm with you guys. Unfortunately, big implications for this game, and I gotta say, you should win every game. You should try to win every game, play every game. But Oscar Parejano's writing is on the wall. The heat is on him relentlessly, and he has to deliver. We lose there, and we come home to a very good Nashville. That may be it. I just don't think there was 18,000 people at the stadium, and I think that number is going to start dwindling if we continue to have these performances like this. I ran into a lot of good people, people that I've known for years, and I would like to single out uh, Moraima and her husband Raymond, who I've known for years. They're the most positive people. They're super nice. I had a conversation with them right next to our friends from OC Fan TV, where they were super positive people, and it was good to talk to them because I left the Tigres game very disappointed. And when I see people like that have been faithfully paying for the tickets, showing up to the games, uh, the team has to win for them. The players have to understand that it's the supporter that they're playing for. They need to feel the weight of the jersey. They need to literally go and leave everything on the pitch. They have to be carried away. That's how the fans need to be rewarded. The Philadelphia lost 3-2 against Montreal on their last game. Similar situation to ours because Montreal is 13th. So a game that they had no business losing. They sit at 6. Nashville is 4th with 7 points. They are going to be facing. They just lost against New England this week. They are going to be. And let's see here. We're facing Philadelphia, and they're going to be facing Cincinnati. Therefore, anything can happen. If I will have to say it's gonna be a tough proposition. If we lose in Philadelphia, we get scolded, and then we come home. I just don't know how that fan base is gonna react.
No.
So praying for the best. And let me go ahead and read the last comments before we go. This is from Tyler, and there it is. I actually have the show on my TV, and I see it there faster than I do on my computer. So there's something wrong here. Tyler Klink, international duty hitting heavy for this one. I think we have a shot. A draw will be nice. 3 points if possible. A draw at this point. It seems like a great proposition. But people don't want draws. People want Wins,
We want
friends.
win.
Wins. I think of I think Jindy, I think for Wilfs it is a money issue. It's a business. You can't sell tickets the way we play, even if we are semi-successful. And that is very true. That is very
Yep.
true. We have to be entertainment. We have to be fun to watch. That way, the casual can come in. People like myself, Jonathan, John, Brian, we're season ticket holders, we're supporter group members. We're gonna come regardless. Sometimes, I understand that tactically, perhaps a tie here is what we need, and blah blah blah, and this and that. But the casual doesn't see it that way. Casuals go to watch goals,
Yep.
fun play. And I'll leave you with this: the game where I had the most fun in 2022 was the 4th of July game against DC, where we lost 3-5. Was a brawl. Me and my kids were jumping up and down. My wife is handicapped and she was jumping up and down. That's the emotion that I can tell you. We left feeling like we had a lot of fun, even though
Yeah.
the result was not what we wanted. That's what I'm talking about. I don't mind Orlando City getting clubbered every week if we play to win the game. And going for 1-0 games, 2-1 games, it's not fun football. It's not fun football. It's not fun football. It never be. It will never be. And last, we have a comment here from um, evidently my TV is faster than my computer. So Colin Garvey, a draw is closer to a loss, and that's true. I always say that draws are like kissing your cousin. They feel great, but you can't brag about them. So that's it.
Oh my
That is absolutely it. Friends, thank you for hanging out. The 18 people hanging out with us, an hour and 52 minutes. This is a whopper of a podcast. I can't believe that you guys choose to sit here and talk with us for 2 hours. It's been a fantastic night. And before my bladder explodes, John, any last words? Where can we find you in the internets?
Yeah, thank you everybody for sticking with us. Went way longer than we usually do. We had a lot to cover tonight. Thank you for all your comments. Don't forget on our socials, you can find that link in the bio. Send you to every one of our socials if you want to re-listen to the audio version or rewatch it here on YouTube. The links for those are always up there. And if you want to find me and on Twitter, it's at datboyjrdub.
Jonathan.
Yeah, and final thought on this, just go City. Let's just try and hopefully get a win. If you guys don't know, I'm a moderator on the Reddit on OC Lions. I'm hosting the contest for the prediction. It's not too late. Winner gets a authentic jersey at the end of the year. You can find me as Red Star X on Reddit, or you can find me on Twitter at Ridner OCSC. And yeah, thanks for listening to us, man and girls. This is just a pleasure to do, and we love you guys.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Thank you, everybody. I ran into Jonathan twice with our friends of OC Fan TV, who, as always, have great content. And John and I were part of the space after the games, Orlando Lions Den After Dark, that our friends from Orlando Lions Den are creating. I appreciate that, guys. They gave us a promo, and I appreciate that very much. I can be found at Florida_man76. Reminding everybody that we're on Twitter, we're on TikTok, and we're on Instagram as at in 90 minutes _pod, and we are on Facebook as in 90 minutes podcast. I want to thank the 15 people here that are hearing me ramble for the last few minutes. Thank you very much. Reminding everybody, give us a thumbs up, a subscription. It helps us out. That way, the purpose of monetizing the channel, I should say, is so we can pay for the cost of creating this content. That way, we don't have to lie to our spouses that we have gambling and drug addiction problems, because they're wondering where this money is going from. Yeah. So with that said, I want to thank everybody. Let's hope that we have a good result to talk about come Monday. And when we return and we play Nashville, let's go. Let's support the boys, regardless of how it happens, how it goes. We love the club, we love this team, and we want it to win. So we are going to say goodbye as we always do, reminding everybody that football is not played on paper, but on grass. And whatever happens this Saturday, we'll find out in 90 minutes. Thank you very much. From John, from Jonathan, and from myself, may God bless you. And as always, vamos, Orlando!
That felt pretty good. That I feel like